the former CEO and president of Bad Boy Entertainment, Harve Pierre. And let me just say this. If you in Hollywood, you do not want your name to be Harvey anything. You don't want to be Harve. You don't want to be Haverty. You don't want to be Harvey. You don't want none of that. Because your ass obviously have a problem keeping your hands off women when they tell you no. Harve Pierre just got hit with a lawsuit following behind Cassie. And New York has that rule that's about to sunset. I think it's tomorrow. Let me show you guys what's going on. Shout out to Forgotten Kings TV. This is a clip I got from him. Let's take a look. He's on YouTube. Check him out.
It was reported that former Bad Boy president Harve Pierre is now being sued for sexual assault. That's right, y'all. According to the report from Rolling Stone, a lawsuit was filed earlier today at the New York County Supreme Court. The plaintiff, who was going by Jane Doe, has accused Pierre of grooming and sexually assaulting her during her time working with him as an assistant at the storied record label. According to Jane Doe, Pierre used his position of authority as plaintiff's boss to groom, exploit, and sexually assault her. The suit claims Pierre engaged in a year-long pattern of grooming plaintiff, leading to sexual harassment of plaintiff and sexual assault. The alleged victim claims she was sexually assaulted by Pierre on multiple occasions between 2016 through 2017. The woman is seeking damages to fully and fairly compensate her for the physical, emotional, and psychological injuries she has as a result of the alleged assaults. Now, of course, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, and Comb Enterprises also listed as co-defendants on this lawsuit, and they also responded to this lawsuit, releasing a statement that reads, "We have recently become aware of a lawsuit filed in New York by a former employee. The allegations are from many years ago that were never brought to the attention of the company. Neither the plaintiff nor the executive are current employees of the company. We are now investigating the allegations, and our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees." All right, now again, for those who may not know, Harve worked with Bad Boy from 91 all the way through 2017. Okay, of course, it was reported that he left Bad Boy briefly around 95, but eventually he returned with the company. Now, for those wondering, why are these lawsuits happening right around this time? What is going on? Well, for those who may not know, all of these lawsuits are a result of the Adult Survivors Act. Okay, those wondering, what's the Adult Survivors Act? It's a statute that allows a one-year window for alleged victims of abuse in New York to bring civil lawsuits even if the statute of limitations have passed. Okay, November 24th is the final date to file a lawsuit under this extension. Okay, so this is why we're getting another headline involving, former employee with Bad Boy Records.
I guess they called it Bad Boy for a reason. Not to be outdone by more lawsuits. I mean, lawsuits is coming in here like ham sandwiches, bro, man, was stealing out of Martin's window. Breaking news. Jamie Foxx has been hit with a lawsuit. Not to be outdone by this guy, Jimmy Iovine, who was the head of one of these record companies. And then last, but definitely not least, coming in this piece, Guns N' Roses singer Axl Rose accused of, 1989 sexual assault? Good God almighty. So I'm going to focus on Jamie Foxx because this has been a rough year for him. Had that stint in the hospital. He was in an in and out relationship with what was not Brad Pitt, but anyway, had an in and out relationship with old Katie Holmes. And let me read to you what they're saying happened with him in his lawsuit. Okay. It is saying in the docs, the plaintiff claims Foxx then allegedly slid his hand into her pants and put his fingers on and in her vagina and anus. Ew. Hope he didn't smell his finger afterwards. But anyway, she says her friend came over and saw what was happening, and then Jamie stopped touching her. She claimed she was injured and had to undergo medical treatment and suffered pain, suffering, and emotional distress as a result of the sexual assault, abuse, and battery. You guys know I'm pretty liberal. I support the women's movement. I support justice on any event, whether it be done to a man, whether it be done to a woman. Did he stick his finger so far up her butt she had a hernia? What kind of injury could she have gotten from that? But more importantly, how was Jamie able to get that close to her and not only touch, rub, and insert her vagina, but also her butt crack? What like, I want more detail. Like, was this some kind of dark room where it's just them two? Because I think that a lot of women, if a man gets that close to you, especially if you don't know him, you're not even going to let him breathe on you. Now, that's not to say that this didn't happen, but this one sounds touch and go to me. It sounds very touch and go. Maybe she invited him over and was allowing him to flirt with her for a little while, and then all of a sudden he went too far. That can happen. That definitely can happen. Just because I want you to, maybe caress my butt, don't mean I want you to stick your finger in my butt. I get that. But the issue that comes to play for me is, other than the friend corroborating, because these are civil trials, these aren't like criminal court. How do you prove or disprove who's right, who's wrong? Clearly, Jamie's going to say, no, I didn't do it. She's going to say, yes, you did. And maybe the friend is going to come forward too. But if there's a big payday involved, you do the math on that. Now, if this really happened, I definitely want her to get some justice. But it needs to be proven that it happened. And then if we get to this guy right here, Jimmy Iovine, whatever, let's read his. Interscope Records co-founder Jimmy Iovine is being sued by an unnamed woman for sexual abuse, forcible touching, sexual harassment, and retaliation, according to a document filed in New York court Wednesday, November 22nd. That is today. This is hot off the presses. Through the full complaint is not yet available, a summons with a notice was filed by the woman's attorney, Douglas Whittaker, and Meredith Firetog at Whittaker Law. The case includes accusations of multiple instances of abuse, along with a specific incident of sexual misconduct that occurred. Now, see, in this guy's case, this might be provable. Multiple incidences, if it really happened, most of the time there's some receipts. Didn't say when it happened. Or let me see if we go back and said that. It didn't say when it happened. Oh, 2007. Okay. Still a long time ago. And it also read sexual misconduct. What is that? What is that? Above it says abuse, forcible touching. So that's sexual misconduct for sure. Sexual harassment, that's sexual misconduct. A specific incident of sexual misconduct. I think this chick got receipts. He might be going down. And when I first looked at him, I was like, he ain't the type that like women. But apparently he likes to force himself on women. And don't be surprised if we get more lawsuits coming out the woodworks before this law sunsets. Guns N' Roses guy. I know you should never say somebody's guilty before it goes through the court and all that stuff. But of all the things I've heard about these rock stars and, party like a rock star, getting people drugged up, let's read what they got to say about him. ABC News is reporting Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose is being sued by a former model who claims he sexually assaulted her in a 1989, according to the court documents obtained by ABC News. Sheila Kennedy, a former Penthouse model and actress, filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court on Wednesday accusing the musician, whose real name is William Bruce Rose Jr., of sexually assaulting her in his hotel room after meeting him at a nightclub. Now, see, that one gets real sketchy. Again, just because you go to someone's hotel don't mean you want to mess around with. However, late at night after a nightclub, what are you doing in somebody's hotel? Now, if he forced himself on you those time of the hours, because maybe the implied thought was, you coming over here late, you want me to make a move, and he made a move. The move could have been too strong for you, and you told him stop, he didn't. But under most pretenses, it is usually understood you leave a place of party and alcohol, and you follow someone over to their home, their hotel, or even your house. Like, they're already thinking, we about to get it in. And that's fine. But if you or him either says stop, it's got to stop. But we need proof of all this. And it's getting to the point, men, where it's like, dude, you might have to start signing consent forms. And even if you do that, that shit don't work. Because just because someone signs a consent form, at any point in time, if they still say stop, no, don't do this, you have to stop. You don't do it. It's no stop. Even if you sign a consent form, the only thing the consent form would do would have them know that the person came to wherever you're at and was willing to, I guess, appease you in some sexual act or whatever you put in the clause. But it's getting to the point where you're going to have to start doing that, men and women, to protect yourselves. But it's crazy. All these are civil cases. And it seems to have come after a cavalcade from Cassie, who clearly had receipts. Like, she had pictures, she had witnesses, she had people that she was dating. Cassie came for the throat. And she deserves every penny of what she's getting. Every penny. We have to see if these other people got evidence, ladies and gentlemen. We have to see. Because what we don't want to happen, and I get that for so long in our society, women have been mistreated, messed over. You claim that someone who's in power has done wrong, and no justice happens to you. I feel you. But we don't want to overcorrect when you have women who are just doing this just to get a money grab, which is why I say people have to protect themselves up front. You got to start protecting yourself up front. So post me all your comments on this stuff, man. Jamie Foxx, Jimmy Iovine, the Guns N' Roses guy. You guys let me know what you think. Oh, let me go back to the bad boy dude, because I think he's up the creek too, this guy right here. The thing that's so bad about him, and I bet you there's receipts for his case too, his alleger said that he was grooming. Now, if y'all don't know what grooming is, that's when you get someone who's under 18 and you basically taking them under your wing, you sweeten them up, you spicing the pot up, you sugaring her up. And then when she gets of age, and possibly before she gets of age, you start making your moves. I am damn sure she got evidence. Damn sure she probably got evidence. The bad boy empire is about to crumble. Not to mention, P. Diddy had this contract with Macy's for Sean John to be in their stores, yanked them out like a yo-yo in the hands of a 2-year-old, and it ain't come back up. Bitch hit the ground. He's out. Who was wearing Sean John anyway? Sean John was out when I was in high school. I ain't worn Sean John since my senior year in high school. So who's still wearing Sean John? Let me know. Post me your comments.